a special live stream session. And if you're interested in what we're going to talk about tonight, stay tuned because we're going to talk about some new fish in the aquariums here in the fish room. We're going to talk about some new first breeding, first time when we have a first time spawn in the fish room. And we're going to talk about a few other little things that might be very, very helpful for little tips and tricks for everyone. I did have a rough start. For some reason, I had a lot of technical difficulties just getting this live stream going. I first saved it and had it all reserved, and I even posted it on various websites, for example, Facebook, on YouTube, community page. I did all that, and somehow when it came time to start the live stream, couldn't get it started, couldn't find it. It's gone, completely wiped out. I don't know what happened. So I had to just start another one right now, and that's what this is all about. I'll go back and probably delete those posts where I was trying to encourage people to join us tonight. And then I started up a live stream, and I ended up with, believe it or not, forgetting to put it on public view. So then I was there talking to myself for about another 5-10 minutes. And then I realized that there's nobody joining. So there's obviously this isn't public. And so here we have a couple people who've joined us tonight and already gave us a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it when you're able to give me that positive feedback that you're alive, that we're live, and that you're kicking, and that somebody's out there. Yes, thank you very much for joining. What we're going to look at is a couple neat things, some new fish. We're going to take a look at some new spawns, and I may as well just get started. What we're going to look at first is something that I have tried. The story behind this goes back to when I used to try a betta fish, and I tried a betta fish before, and they lived for a little while, but then they would just die. And I always had trouble keeping them alive. Now, I didn't keep them in a bowl. I keep them in a community tank, and there was plenty of space. It was like the fish were very happy. And then one day I would find them just... And I was always disappointed in that because it seemed like I had such a difficulty time getting the fish to actually thrive. And that's the key. But I've always wanted to try my hand at breeding a fish that was a bubble nest maker. And I thought bettas would be the one to try because, I mean, gouramis also make bubble nests, but I don't know. I've heard, I don't see a lot of demand for gouramis as I do, sharing somebody and sharing them with a betta. Now, this week there was some fish I took to the local club. That's the Peel Regional Aquarium Club, and we had our meeting, and it was a discussion on live plants. So I brought some fish, but as always the case, you get there, you see the mini auction, and you end up walking home with some more fish. So I'm going to show you some bettas that I did pick up, and these are new, and they're young, and they were bred by somebody in our club. So here they are. I don't know if you can see that, but those are some beautiful little guys. They're very metallic looking. One of them, at a certain angle, looks green, but I think it's a blue betta. I think it really is a blue betta, even though it looks kind of got a lot of greenish in it. And the other ones too. I think it's just lighting and it's reflective because it's kind of metallic. So I got these 6 young bettas. And from what I understand, you can't really tell at this age whether they're male or female. They're just probably now getting started to be male or female. I haven't noticed any aggression whatsoever between them. I think they were growing up together, so it's kind of... Oh, see, there you go. They're starting to show their stuff, you might say. But they're pretty. They're very pretty, and I know I'll find good homes for them eventually, but it also gives me a chance to have some experience with some younger ones. I believe that the ones in the past that haven't done well for me are actually, I think they were old. That's probably one of the big things about having bettas. And if you have a betta that you get at the store. It's beautiful. It's got full finnage and very long finnage. And I believe that in those cases, many of them are, well, they've been around a while and they're trying to move them. I don't think they're that young. Anyway, so as you know, we did have some case where I did pick up a pair of bettas, and that pair of bettas was actually at a, shall we say, what was the thing when I got them up? They were at the Reptile Expo, and somebody was selling bettas there. And at the end of the expo, I was walking out the door, and I saw these two beautiful bettas, and I said, "That's a pretty fish." And I picked up the pair, and I was like, I'm just shocked that the female was as beautiful as she was. Ah, okay, good to know. The wild bettas are actually going to live longer. Yeah, probably so. In fact, our next talk at the club meeting will be on, I want to say what it's going to be on wild bettas, and it will be in the month of November. So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll get to know some more things about some of the bigger wild bettas, and that would be interesting. However, for now, I just picked up a pair. I just really wanted to try to breed them and to see what it's like, if I can do it. I understand the fry are super small. I have plenty of infusoria. I'm quite accustomed on how to use it. And in other words, with my arsenal, and we've got some San Francisco brine shrimp. We've got some really small stuff, and I'm gonna see what I can do with these. So here, let's take a look at what. Oh, well, that's not the full story. The first thing is the male disappeared. I never did find him. I don't know if he fell on the floor and somehow wiggled over to the corner. Never found a body. He was by himself in a little tank, probably the size, about a 3-gallon tank, it looks like, and never found him. Don't know what happened to the fish. Usually when a fish dies, usually you find a body, especially when they're by themselves. I was feeding it Daphnia, and I just found Daphnia in the tank and nothing else. There was no fish in it. Very unusual, but it does happen to fish rooms, strange things like that. And then while I was at a pet shop once, I saw a male who looked just like the female I had. So this was from an entirely different source, but he was very energetic, very wild. And that's the one I picked up, and we put him together this week. In fact, I put him together. I'm going to show you the setup right now. Let's take a look. So going over to the 10 gallons, I had them separated. And in October 4th, we discussed how to make one of these little, they're like little cabins out of a styrofoam cup. So I put the female in here, and the male was in the far tank. But then I put the male over here, and he didn't really make. I don't know. Seems like he didn't make much of a bubble nest. I was kind of thinking how. So from Gary, my betta specialist here in the club, told me to get one of these. It's like a hurricane lamp. It's the shape of a kind of a bollard shape, more like a what do you call it? Your bowling pin shape. And it's got an open end on both sides. And I see why it's so important to have a container like that. See, now they're separated because last night they started spawning, and they picked up all kinds of eggs. I was watching that, got footage. I even posted some of it. So you probably saw some of the footage of the breeding, and I posted it, and he's now with his bubble nest, and he's guarding the bubble nest and watching it. I'm going to remove her now so I can start, conditioning her up again. She got kind of beat up. Some of her fins are a little bit, got a little bit wear on them. She hides in the bottom there, but that's her little. So I'll go into the top because it's got an open top. You see this this has an open top. I can just lift it up and put her in the tank. And it was easy to catch her because I could just take the big bell, as it were, this hurricane lamp, and then just kind of capture her from the bottom when she's at the bottom. She doesn't hardly even see it because it's clear glass. So then it works out really well. So this would be a nice separator, and she's got her separate area. So now I'll probably put in a net and pull her out without lifting because I don't want her to escape back into the tank. So he'll chase her really hard, and I think I got her so that she did spawn. And when I thought they really were stopped spawning, I thought it was enough, and I got her out of there. Well, I put her in this glass box so that she can be safe from him, because he just, as you can see, he runs over there, and then he'll strike her and tear up her fins. So M&C Aquatics says he's got Greg Sage. Yeah, great. And any fish will do. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're looking at the spawning couple. Now, the one on the left is the female, and this is the funny part. I really think she's more beautiful than he is. It's an amazing turn of events, because, I mean, when females look better than males in the betta world, that's just amazing. But he's attractive. I got him because he was super active. Look at him. He's just very vibrant. He's just vibrant, and I noticed that he seems to be caring for the nest, making the bubbles and everything. So in maybe 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, I could see fry hanging out of the bubbles. That's what they say. I don't know. This is all new experience for me. If you've done this before, well, congratulations. I like to do something new, and it's funny because right at the same time they were spawning, this pair of dwarf cichlids was also spawning. You see the eggs on the rock. This is a pair of curviceps. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's their first time ever laying. I knew they were going to lay. They wanted to lay, and I threw in some these are called. These are danios. These are chopre danios, but they're actually just ditherfish for this case, and they don't seem to be going after the eggs or anything. So I think I'm just going to let it go. I want to see what happens. I want to see if the parents can get wigglers and see if they take good care of their babies. Even if the danios do get some of the fry, I don't think it's a big loss, because it's their first time, and I just want to see them. I just want to see how well they do. So I'm going to leave them alone. I'm not going to pull any eggs or try to artificially raise them. Anyway, they were spawning the same night, so I don't know what it was, a full moon or whatever last night. And these guys, I was very happy, and now I got something. The egg nest is mostly along the edges. There's not a lot of bubbles, but it seemed like they were picking all the eggs up. They were white when they got to the bottom. I could see them, and then they picked them up, and then they carried them. The female did more of the work. I think he's very inexperienced. By the way, the pH in here is 5.3. Okay, 5.3, and the temperature is 78. I checked it a moment ago, and I wanted to know what it was. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get some bettas growing, and I don't know when to remove the male. I think it's as soon as the fry go free swimming, I think I can remove him. I don't think he really serves a big purpose after that. Once they're free swimming, they'll be eating the little creatures in the water and all that. So I'll separate them and just see how the spawn goes. And we'll see what comes out of it. So that is the big news. We got a first-time spawn here using Betta splendens. And since we're here, we'll take a look at a new fish in the fish room. This came from the members at the Aquarium Club also. And these fish are, does anybody care to guess? Well, I'm almost giving it away based on what you see in the tank. It's a small tank, just kind of quarantining them right now. They came out of the ponds of one of our members, so he had some extras, and here they are. These are Medaka rice fish. But these Medaka rice fish are, in fact, the orange variety. They have quite a bit of orange. I think they're kind of in the tank that I have them in, plus the stress. I think they kind of lost a lot of their color. But I'll put in some red flakes to see if I can bring in some of that orange. And there's a super red pleco down there as well. How long has this taken? What exactly is this? How long has this taken? How long has this taken? Okay, I'm not sure what you mean. If you can rephrase the question, be happy to reply. I understand. Now, going on to something else. I showed you the new spawn over there. I want to come over tonight and feature a new fish to the fish room. And it's quite an attractive fish, but when you get new fish, you got to be careful getting ick, right? So I noticed these fish suddenly when I looked at them. You'll notice it's right down here. They've got spots all over them. Look at that. Very attractive fish. There's another one in the back. We've got I think 4 of them in the tank. Anybody want to take a shot at what that is? Okay, might zip in the back. I think there was another one earlier over here, but I don't see it. I put him in this tank. Oh, here he's right above the filter. Oh, he's in the back. He's moving around quickly. Zip, zip, zip. He's moving around. They're probably chasing one another. It's time to put in a zucchini slice. Those are ancistrus plecos. Ancistrus plecos. And as you would sometimes experience, an ancistrus pleco might be put into a new tank. He's back in there. See him back. They might have issues with ick, but those spots are natural. It's not ick in this case. So interestingly, I just wanted to point out and mention that these are something I've been looking for a long time. Very, very, very hard to get here in Canada. But they are very plentiful in other places. But this one in particular is the betta spawn. Okay. This one is ta-da, drumbeat, please. The L181. It is a ancistrus pleco, and it is what they commonly refer to as the peppermint pleco. Obviously, for its spots, peppermint plecos. And if you've ever seen them on Keeping Fish Simple, you'll notice that there's been a lot of them breeding of these down under. Of course, here in this hemisphere, not so much. They're small ancistrus, and they don't get too big, but we'll see how well these go. Got to grow these out, so we're going to get some. I got some zucchini here. What I did is I took them out of the freezer, and I just put them in some water, get rid of the hardness. Now that it feels like they're thawed out. So now, what I do now with these is we're going to do a little trick to get it to sink in the tank. And I use these stainless steel rods. And here's one right here. You can buy these completely stainless steel rod, and it is heavy enough to go through. I go through the meat and always puncture through the skin. So I get through the skin like that. And the skin tends to hold on to it, whereas the meaty part will get a little, shall we say, kind of dissolve out of the situation. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and give them some of this. And let's see if we can put that in there now. I'm going to drop it. There we go. Boom. Perfect. Get it up front, and we'll see if they find it. We'll give them a few hours. They'll hopefully find it and start chewing on it. And all my ancestors plecos love zucchini along with their regular fish food. So I feed them both. I would never feed them only zucchini. Only vegetable matter like that is not enough. And if you give them some all protein like fish food, it's too much protein, and they may cause some digestive issues and die on you. So augmenting the diet with zucchini is important. Okay. That is the new fish, what we call the peppermints, and so I'm really excited about the peppermints in the fish room. We're going to see how that pans out. Tonight, after this live stream, I am going to finish the big 20-gallon long up here, and all I need to do is put on a overflow, but I'll do a siphon. I'll do a siphon so that I have a right underneath. You can see the knob right there. So right over here, I just need to make some adjustments. Can you see that right in there? That's a valve, and I'll just open the valve and it will siphon out the water, and it goes right into the back drain across the fish room and into the floor drain. And that way I can do water changes very quickly. So, but I need to bring it up, go over into the corner here with a tube, and then I'm going to show, maybe if I do some video, I'll record it, and I'll just show you how I do the fill up the siphon, get it started. I use a pump to do that, and once it's done, it's easy, and then it just stays siphoned. But I also have to put on the end of the pipe. I will put definitely a strainer. And sometimes if I'm going to have small fish, in this case, there could be small fish if I breed some plecos in that tank. So it's good to have, in addition to that, some over the strainer, just put a intake sponge, and then you'll have no issues of losing any fish through the siphon tube. So that's some tricks right there, some tips going on, let you know how it's going to work out. I show you the bedders, and here's a couple of things. I'm going to get going these tanks. We're going to do some more breeding here in the workbench. I've got all 4 tanks that really are poised to go, but one of those tanks, turns out that there was a hatch. We've got 2 small. If you can see them, you should be able to see them now. 2 very small Danios in here. There's one. You see one in the front? Right in the middle, right about in the middle right now is a Danio. That Danio is a Chopre Danio. There's 2 of them in here. There's another thing. There's one in the back. I see him. So the trick is, what's the best way to get those fish out? They're so small. There's not enough of them to warrant them growing in a 5-gallon, 2 little fish like that. So I'll find a new place for them, and I'm going to put them in something a lot smaller where I can take care of them until they get big enough to put in with their bigger adults. And what I would say is, yeah, when they get big enough, they can be mixed with these Chopres. They look like glow light tetras, but they are not. They are glow light Danios. But that's where they get their name. but they're out of focus. This camera is only wanting to focus on the wood, but the Chopridanios here are like orange, and they're quite different from when they get to be an older group. These are the older ones, the parents, and they have tremendous color on them. And a certain thing, right now the lighting is not so good in this tank that they're in, but they have pinks and lines and dots, and I've even had them people refer to them as being like a mini salmon fish, little salmon fish. So this is why I like those Chopridanios. But they don't seem to spawn in tremendous groups. But we'll see what we can do one day. I will get these out and not net them. What I will do is it's very simple. I may as well just show you. Let me show you how I do it. This might give you an idea of how you can do some of this work. So what I want to do is I want to get them into a container. So with the same water that they're in, and right now they've never been netted, they've never even seen a net before, so it's kind of easy to get them into a net. And I'm going to grab a small net. Basically, I'm going to use it for coaxing them in, but honestly, the best thing that's going to work is to get them using this little plastic tube, and I can get them to the surface, which they often do go. That one is in the back. I can use this net to kind of coax them in, but I won't remove them from the water. That's the part that I think is too much of a shock for a little fry. So what would happen is I can use this to coax them. Let's see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Maybe you will. Let's see if I can zoom in. Maybe a little bit. Right there. So what I'm going to do is sometimes I can net them. I always wet the net first. There we go. Get all the air out of the net part. And then I'm going to just put the net behind them and watch their actions. And then I see them, they're coming together. They are together. There's only two in here. I've been watching it so closely for so long, and I'm moving very slowly, just trying to driving them to the front. And then what I will do is before they go zipping away, what I can do is I'm getting caught up in the plants. My eyes are upon them. And here they go. Okay. All right. I'm not going to lift the net out, although they're in the net. I'm just going to see if I can get them to go more inside the net. Very slow like. Come on. Don't. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to go down. This one doesn't want to go in the net. But I'm not going to lift the net out of the tank. What I'm going to do is, let's see if I can just, there we go. Got him. Okay, got him in the net. And so they're swimming around in the net. And then I'm going to use a smaller one than this because it's cramped to get them in. And then I'm just going to dip this into the water and hopefully bring them, see if I can get it. Hmm. Hmm. I can get them to go inside the plastic bottle. Let's see if one is going in. Well, was going in. There we go. They're both inside now. I'll see if I can wait for them to go. Is he inside the bottle or is he inside the net? Okay, he's inside the bottle. Then I'm just gonna tilt. And there we go. Voila. Okay. I hope my head wasn't in the way. I'm sure it was. Sorry about that. So what I did was I put it down into the net and waited, and they just swam into the water of the container. And then now they are in the container. I didn't lift them out of the water, and now they're buzzing around on the inside. See if I can show them off to you. I don't know. You'll be able to see them. There you go. See? Those are two little fish. And now I can move these to a grow out location, and this 5.5 gallon can be put back into operation. So we're gonna put that. Let's see if I can get back to my live stream. There we go. So then what we'll do then is now I have a tank free, and I can go ahead and put a breeding pair of something in there, and that would be the best. That's where you have to make good use of your tanks, and I don't have 5.5 gallons to spare for two small little Danios. So that's where I'm going to have to move them, two little guys, into you can put them in a breeder box, or I'm going to use a large jar and just let them grow big enough so that they're bigger than the mouths of the other ones. And they can then go into with their siblings, which are older, because they'll grow together and the younger ones will still get food. So to answer back that question about the bettas, you wanted to know how long it took. The whole process, when I stumbled across them, I was going to do the overflow, or shall I say the siphon, up here. And then when I looked and they were spawning, I said, oh my goodness, it's like I don't want to disrupt them. So I didn't do the work last night, and I just let them go. So I would say it was like 3 hours that they were doing this and constantly embracing themselves, but not every time did the eggs come out. But once in a while, eggs would go spewing out, and then they would pick up the eggs and put them back. So after 3 hours, I could have left her in case it was more, but I wanted to go to sleep. I have to rest too, so I wanted to just protect her. So I put her in the glass jar that you saw earlier. Thank you. It looks like somebody's joining us. Craig's Catfish. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Craig Catfish Cave and Aqua Balls. Hello, everyone. So we got some people joining us now. We've kind of pretty much exhausted the live stream for tonight. I did go over the several things, the breeding of the Betta Splendens, and I do want to look into the interview with Greg Sage a little bit. It was mentioned on here. Thank you very much. Any fish will do. Thank you for your nice comments about the fish room. Appreciate it. And of course, if you find this content educational, helpful, and certainly some of the tips I use and share with you, please share the stream or videos and anything. Just share a link for FishEZ to any social media. And that's the best way to give me some good, shall we say, good feedback. It helps the channel grow, and it gets other people who might be interested in the same things that we're interested in. So I think that's it for now. I do have in the future, we're going to be talking about going back to breeding some apistogrammas here. I've got 2 species down below that I brought over from the fish house, 2 species that we're going to set up and get going here at the fish house. So, I mean, the fish house, the fish nursery here at FishEZ. So not only that, we'll have 4 tanks already going, We'll do a video on that too, what we're going to plan for, and that will be something of practical value for anybody wishing to breed some egg scatterers. So thank you very much. Let's see, any other questions? As far as the Medaka rice fish go, I'm going to just play around with those a little bit over the winter because it's going to get too cold here in Toronto to put them outside. Of course, it's going to be iced up, and then in the spring when things thaw, I'll have some tubs outside and we can throw them out there and see what happens. In the meantime, I might just see if they'll breed over the winter in the aquarium in the fish room and see if we can get some babies. It's just a matter of taking the mops and moving them from one tank to another and seeing if we get some fry. So if there's anything else, any questions, I really appreciate everybody joining tonight for this quickie live stream. And again, I apologize for the terrible start. I don't know what happened. I set up the live stream. I saved it. I even saw it on the desktop computer. I posted links to it on social media. And then when it came time to actually start the live stream, I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't even bring it up on my Facebook post, which seems kind of strange. I don't know how to do it on my phone. I'm going to have to play around with that because I thought, well, I can just click on the link, right? I mean, I posted the link, but anyway, if any of you had difficulties with getting on tonight, I apologize for that difficulties. And we'll be talking soon. Have a great time with your fish this weekend before the week starts. I know there'll still be some moments you can do some things with your fish, do a water change or something. And above all, enjoy your fish and keep it real.